Hello students, welcome to the BBPS e-learning class of science, and we are going to discuss in the previous turn about your chapter 13, that is motion and time, and we are already discussed about the speed and types of motion, that is the circular motion, straight motion and the periodic motion. And on the basis of the speed, motion can be of two types, that is uniform motion and non-uniform motion. Today we are going to discuss how can we measure the time. If did not have a clock, how do you decide what time of the day is it? Have you ever wondered how our elders tell the approximate time of the day by just looking the shadows? Our ancestors noticed that many events in the nature repeat themselves after definite intervals of time. For example, they found that sun rises every day in the morning, and the time between from one sunrise to next was called a day. Similarly, a month is measured from one new moon to the next, and a year was fixed by the time taken by the earth to complete one revolution of the sun. Often we need to measure intervals of the time which is much shorter than the day. Clocks or watches are perhaps most common time measuring devices. The working of clock is rather complex, but all of them make use of the some periodic motion. One of the most well-known periodic motion is that of simple pendulum. Now we have shown here the two figures regarding the figure 13.A and 13.B. This shows the how simple pendulum works. A simple pendulum consists of a metallic ball or a piece of stone suspended from rigid stand by a thread. The metallic ball is known as bob of the pendulum. In the figure 13.4a shows the pendulum at rest at its mean position. When the bob of the pendulum is released after taking it slightly one side, it begins to move to and fro. And the to and fro motion of a simple pendulum is an example of periodic or an oscillatory motion. The pendulum is said to have completed one oscillation when its bob starts from its mean position O, moves to the position A to the B and back to the O. And the pendulum also complete oscillation when the bobs move from one extreme position A to another extreme position B, and the comes back to its original position. This is the called as time period. The time taken by the pendulum to complete one oscillation is known as its time period. We have done an activity which is based on the simple pendulum. Set up the simple pendulum as shown figure 13.4 with a thread or string of length of 1 meter. Switch off any fans nearby. Let the bob of the pendulum come to the rest at the mean position and mark the mean position of the bob on the floor below or is the wall behind. To set the pendulum in motion, gently hold the bob and move it slightly to one side. Make sure that string attached to the bob is taut while you displace it, and now release the bob from this displaced position. Remember that bob is not to be pushed when it is released, and note the time of the clock when the bob is at its mean position. Instead of the mean position, you may note time when the bob is at one extreme position. Measure the time of the pendulum takes to complete 20 oscillation and record your observation as in table. The first observation is done, that is time taken for 20 oscillations. Suppose it is 42, then the time period is 2.1. Your observation could be different from this, and repeat this activity a few times and record your observation. By dividing the time taken 20 oscillation by 20, you get time for one oscillation or the time period of the pendulum. Next we have discussed what is the units of time and speed. The basic unit of time is a second and its symbol is S, and larger unit of time are minutes and hours, and the symbol of all the units are written in a singular, and the unit of speed which is measured in the meter per second that is the basic unit of speed. Okay, student, just go through the video and revise this topic very carefully.